Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks postgame podcast. The Hawks lose 4-2 to the Nashville Predators down in Nashville. I'm Jay Zawaski with Greg Boysen and Mario Tirabassi. We appreciate you being with us here on this Saturday afternoon. Make sure you smash that like button for us. We'd appreciate that. Same deal, subscribe to the YouTube page while you're here. If you're listening on your podcast app, make sure you're subscribed and take 30 seconds to leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. We've got a lot to get to in this one. We're going to tell you about our Who's Your Hawk winners. We've got Connor's Corner coming up. We're also going to let you pick the 4th star of the game. Why don't we do that right off the bat? The 3 stars of the game for Nashville, number 3, former Blackhawk Kevin Lankinen, stopped 29 of 31 Blackhawk shots. Yakov Trenin had a goal and an assist. He was the number 2 star, and your number 1 star was Gustav Nyquist / Thomas Tatar with 1 goal. So your nominees for 4th star of the game: Seth Jones, 25-22 of ice time, an assist, 5 shots, 7 shot attempts, and 2 block shots. Phillip Kurashev played 19-29, had a goal, 2 shots, and 4 shot attempts. Taylor Hall, 16-39 of ice time, 5 shots, 7 shot attempts, and won 100% of his 2 face-offs. So get that vote in on the YouTube page.
Yeah, those 2 face-offs for
they were key
for him. They were key to this.
That really put him over the top, I think.
Yeah. If only he took a 3rd one, maybe that would have led to a game-tying goal.
Well, it's a frustrating game, and we're definitely going to get to it. We're going to recap the scoring here for those of you that might have missed it a little bit. 12:07 into the first period, Yakov Trenin scores a short side goal on Arvid Soderblom. Corey Perry, who did not have the greatest game tonight, lost the puck along the boards. The shot may have deflected off Kevin Korchinski's stick. He sort of reacted as if it did. Seemed a little frustrated, but either way, it looks like one that Soderblom should have had. That is a trend that will continue throughout the game. 17-12. I'm sorry. I'm confused. Where's the second Nashville goal? Oh, I'm having a good game, too.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
17. Let's just go with it. Who cares?
No, I got it here. Sorry. I must not have written it right. 18:32. There you go. Gustav Nyquist scores. Ryan O'Reilly on the doorstep. No one wins the battle with Nyquist, and he gets a goal. It's 2-0. Second period begins. Kurashev cuts the lead to 2-1. Seth Jones makes a beautiful pass across the ice to Connor Bedard. Bedard shoots it immediately, one-times it. Phillip Kurashev right on the doorstep for the rebound. And then Tyler Johnson makes it 3-2, 12:15 into the third. Gets a shot through traffic with Corey Perry battling with Roman Josi in front, but it wasn't enough. Cole Smith's empty netter with 19:48 gone is the decider. Nashville wins 4-2. So, tough one. We were talking in the pregame show about, hey, this is one of these opponents that the Hawks should probably have a better game against, and they did, but they come up short, and I think the three of us agree goaltending was the massive difference in this one.
Yes, Kevin Lankinen made a couple extra big stops, and Soderblom didn't.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it, because in front of the 2 goalies, almost identical teams. I mean, at least the way they played. Each team had their stints where they were in control of the game for 3 or 4 minutes, and then the other team would take control, But in the end, former Blackhawk Kevin Lankinen was the better 2 goalies. And watching Arvid Soderblom struggle, I mean, he still made 28 stops today. It was probably his best game of his last handful.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't good enough. And he just doesn't look like a confident goalie.
No.
We were talking about the end of Lankinen's stint with the Blackhawks about how he wasn't looking confident. He was kind of like punching at pucks.
Punching is the way to put it, yeah.
Soderblom isn't necessarily doing that, but it just seems like the puck gets on him quicker. Like, he doesn't see it till it gets right there. We used to compliment about how compact and lack of extra movements he needed in the crease. That's not a thing anymore.
He's all over the place.
He's swimming in his crease.
Yeah, there was one point where the puck was free and he was facing into the net.
Well, he can't cover up the puck. 2 goals today were because he just flat out can't either absorb the rebound or he lets it drop in front of him and then he has no control of it. And Predators guys were there to get it. Credit to them.
Yep.
They
knew.
They knew. Like the Hawks, the Kurashev goal was because they finally decided to go to the net. Because Lankinen was giving up his fair share of rebounds today, too. The difference was the Predators were crashing in the net to take advantage of it. The Hawks only did that once and were rewarded for it. There was another play where Reichel was in the right place for a rebound, but it just jumped over his stick. And you mentioned in the recap the Corey Perry, that first goal. Yeah, not only did he lose the puck along the boards, but that was a face-off right after a really bad icing he took.
Yeah.
Where he was like a foot in front of the red line, not under no pressure, and iced it. And then the second goal, Corey Perry was sitting in the penalty box. Now, granted, he made up for it because he provided the screen for the Tyler Johnson goal. But, yeah, Corey Perry's worst game as a Blackhawk, I would say.
When you mentioned, too, getting out-muscled in front, the goal that made it 2-0, the Nyquist power play goal, Nyquist just beats Taylor Radish to the net. And then the 3-1 goal, Cole Smith, he gets 3 or 4 opportunities to whack at the puck in front of Soderblom, and no one's there. Reese Johnson and Mackenzie Entwistle can't get to him and stop him. That's Cole Smith. Yeah. It's not Ryan O'Reilly.
No.
It's not Philip Forsberg.
It's not even Mike Smith.
Right. Former Hawks GM Mike Smith.
It's not even Predators legend Craig Smith.
Craig Smith, that's who I'm thinking
Yes.
of. Mike Fisher, Craig Smith.
It's
Same
just,
guy.
Yeah, it's
Just like Tatar.
It's the same point.
I
yeah.
also think, too, like, you could probably go back and review this game with a fine-tooth comb and see a bunch of plays in front where the Hawks out-muscled Nashville. But when your goalies aren't making saves and they're not making routine saves, the game gets away from you. Look, like you said it, this game was pretty even. When you break down the numbers, even if you're just watching with the naked eye, both teams had their chances. They had their hot streaks. They had their cold streaks. The difference at the end was Lankinen made the saves he was supposed to. And I don't want to completely put this on Arvid Soderblom because it's not all on him. It's not. But damn, like when you're a player and you feel like you've got everything covered at least adequately, you're in the right position and the puck's in the back of your net anyway, it is frustrating. And then you're down 3-1 and Nashville can kind of sit back a little bit and wait for you to make mistakes and defend. It totally changes the game. 2-1 and 3-1 are so massively different in a hockey game.
Well, especially when the 2-0 goal and the 3-1 goal both came late in the period.
Yeah. Yep.
And, of course, it's right after you get the Kurashev goal. You're getting some momentum. You take another penalty. I don't remember whose penalty it was that led to that. Oh, no, it wasn't. Never mind. There was a – they just killed a power play, too, didn't they? Before the Cole Smith goal wasn't – or no, that came after.
It was after. It was right after.
Yeah. So, yeah, because it was another Corey Perry penalty. But, yeah, you lost the board. You lost the battle in the corner because both of your defensemen were in the corner trying to get the puck. It gets dug out of there. Smith gets it. Pretty much tap dances his way to the front of the net.
Yeah.
And then is allowed to get it away from there. Like, I mean, those are those one-on-one battles that Luke Richardson talks a lot about, and about how the Hawks need to do better at it. And, you know, it just, I don't know. We're seeing people in the chat, oh, maybe we should give Jackson Stauber another shot. No, that's not the solution. I mean, yeah, I know he was pretty good in the very little bit he had last year, and I think a lot of that may have to do with, like, you know, not a lot of video on him and stuff like that. But Jackson Stauber in 22 AHL games has a career 890 save percentage and 3.55 goals against average. Like, this is our Soderblom season to figure out if he's part of the long-term plans or not.
Yeah.
Like, if he's your backup on a team that has Stanley Cup aspirations, or at least a team trying to make a wild card, and you can't be coughing up points every 5th or 6th game because he's out there, okay, maybe you look to make a change. But this is his year to try and figure it out, and he's struggling right now. You just got to keep going with him. Now, Mrazek's going to get more starts.
Yeah.
But this is a year where you're trying to figure these things out. You're trying to figure out if Phillip Kurashev is part of the long-term plan. Signs point to yes.
Looking like it more and more each game.
Yes. To quote the Magic 8 Ball, signs point to yes. Taylor Radish, jury's still out.
Yeah.
Arvid Soderblom's another one of those guys. Jury's still out. So, I know it's easy to pile on him, and he hasn't been great. His first 2 starts of the season were fantastic.
Yeah.
That first game against Boston, he beat the Toronto Maple Leafs. Mm-hmm. Those aren't things that you do by accident, So there's talent there. I think it's just his biggest enemy right now is between his own ears.
I'm not saying that he's a bust. He's not part of the future or anything like that. But man, like for a goalie to be in the spot that he's in now in his career, young guy, early stages of his NHL career, but to look completely different than the guy who last year, sure, the record, the numbers, they don't look great, but the team was arguably worse than this year's team was put together and didn't really give him too much help last season when he was playing in Chicago. But man, it is concerning how different he looks this year compared to last year, and last year how he played in the AHL. And I don't know if it's something on his terms. I don't know if it's something in a coaching change or anything like that. I mean, he worked with Jimmy Waite last year when he was in Chicago. He worked with Peter Aubry in Rockford. Now Peter Aubry moved on. They have a new Rockford coach, but that doesn't have any impact on him, or very little impact on him this season because he's in Chicago. I don't know what has changed in Soderblom, but he looks like a very different goalie, and it's super concerning when, like you give up 3 goals, you make 28 saves, like most nights that can maybe keep you into most NHL games, but you have to have the team in front of you show up as well. So when he looks shaky and his best effort is allowing 3 goals against the Predators, you have to make up for that as the team in front of him, the other 18 skaters. And when one offensive line and one defensive pair show up, you're going to lose that game. Like, so 9 times out of 10, you're going to lose that game when you only have 5 of your 18 other players showing up to perform. They can't, and we talked about in the pregame, you have to be ready to go in these weirdly timed games as the team on the road. Like, you have to be ready to go. And they came right out of the gate with great jump. They got an early power play. They had, I think, 5 of the first 6 shots on goal in the game. It was a really good first 8, 9, 10 minutes of the game. And then, you finish the game, you're chasing 2 goals, you get 1 back, you have a little bit of jump in the final 10 minutes, but what happens in that middle 40? Like, you cannot continuously try to overcome either slow starts with speeding up at the end, or think that you're good enough in the first 10 minutes to have that effort, which they didn't score. They didn't lead at all in this game. You're not good enough to skate by on a 10 to 20 minute effort and think that that's going to be enough to win a game. Like, you have to, you talk about complete efforts, even a 40-minute effort, if it comes at the right time, can get you a win. But you can't just have a good 10 minutes at the start and a good 10 minutes at the end, because everything in between is where you're going to lose the game. Yeah. So I'm very frustrated with the performance today from pretty much 14 other players other than Seth Jones and Phillip Kurashev. And
top 6 was good.
The top guys that you're relying on, they showed up. Everybody else, I don't know why you looked like the team on night 2 of back-to-backs when it was day 1 of back-to-backs. Yeah. That's concerning.
And look, you talk about playing a complete game. I'm looking here at Hockey Reference for the season, and I've said, in my brain, I said the Hawks have played like ass in the second period this year, right?
Yeah.
On the road, the Hawks have been outscored 12-6 in the second period. First period, 13-10, and outscored 12-6 in the second, 6-7. So the Hawks have one more in the third than their opponents. The second period's been a disaster. Overall, outscored 16-8 in the second period this year.
I don't get it.
Look, and we talked about when we compared this team to last year, the reason last year's team was able to stick around and be in games was because they would compete their asses off for 60 minutes. Mm-hmm. That's been an issue with this team. It's been an issue with this team. And look, I think part of it is you've got a lot of inexperienced defensemen that are a little bit, I use the word shy with Luke Richardson this week during practice, and I don't know how to better define that, but like they don't have the swagger yet, so they're a little bit gun shy. Like they don't have the confidence to go that extra tick all the time that they take to make a decision or to finish a check. There was a point today where I forget if it was Ryan O'Reilly or Forsberg, like just overpowered Kevin Korchinski on the boards. Dude, lean into a guy. It's okay. It's okay that it's okay that you're 19. You're allowed to lay in the people. You don't have to give them this courtesy, right? And I think we're seeing a lot of that. We're seeing a lot of indecision. But you're right. Like you had one line and one pair show up in this game. Okay. And while we laid it on Soderblom for the first 10 minutes of the show, you should be able to score more than 2 goals against the Nashville Predators and Kevin Lankinen.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, there's no excuse for that. Like, if he was standing on his head, making sprawling Dominic Hasek kind of, scorpion saves.
If they had gotten goalied in this game.
They did not get goalied.
No. He wasn't great. Like,
No.
you should be able to have at least have a better effort against that team that you were tied for last place in your division with. Now you're last place in the division with because you lost to them. It's really frustrating. And as much as we have talked about, and the narrative has been, well, they're playing contender after contender after contender after contender. Sure, that's all true. But when you have the non-contenders show up, and we keep saying, oh, this should be a game where they're evenly matched. The games that they should have been evenly matched in this season was Montreal, Arizona, and Nashville.
0-3.
Those 3 games. 0-3, shit efforts in all 3 games.
Yep.
That can't happen. I don't care if they're going to be in the lottery for Celebrini and Yzerman and all these guys. I don't care about that at all. I don't care that you're going to be a bottom 5 team. All these expectations. When you're playing the other teams that are going to or should land in that same spot as you have to have better efforts.
Outscored 15-5 in those 3 games. If the math off the top of my head is
3-1, 8-1, 3-2, 4-2.
Yeah.
So quick math. Yeah, you allow 15 goals in those 3 games. And you have a 1 goal, and a 2 goal. 15-4. 15-4 against Montreal, Arizona, and today against Nashville. Like that's horrible, inexcusable. And
it is fine.
It's
2-1-2.
Yeah, and the wins over Pittsburgh and Vegas and Toronto and Tampa and stuff. Wonderful. Where are those teams when the non-contenders show up? Where are those efforts? Stop playing up and playing down to your competition. Set a tone.
Well, and that's the thing is, they came out so hot today. Like, what the hell happened?
We're 15 games into it, and I understand this is still, like, this team needs to gel and stuff, but it's November 18th. You've had at least 2 months of skating with all these guys together, and you have some guys carried over from last season where, like we were saying before, how Luke Richardson and the team identity was established and everything. I have a freaking identity. I don't see an identity with this team. There's no punch to them. There's no consistent, anybody attacking. When teams can just focus on Connor Bedard and say, we'll live with Phillip Kurashev getting a goal. We'll live with Tyler Johnson getting a goal. If that's going to be the case, if teams are just going to say, we're going to stop Bedard and let the rest of you beat him, then the rest of you need to step up.
Yeah.
And I'm getting sick of, like, not seeing that happen. And again, expectations are what they are. Yeah. But when we keep talking about the schedule's getting lighter, your effort can't. And it's getting really frustrating.
Well, that's the thing. You've got Nick Foligno, who's out there giving everything he's got every shift. You have Mackenzie Entwistle out there doing the same thing. Yeah. But between the two of them, how much skill is there with those guys anymore, right?
Yeah, they're not 20-goal guys.
Entwistle is a 4A player, right?
Yeah.
Somewhere between the NHL and AHL. If he's on a contender, there's no way he's in the NHL. Nick Foligno's at the tail end of his career, works his ass off, plays hard, gets his points on effort alone. But, like, some of these other guys need to take – it's the people we talked about in the pregame. Mm-hmm. It's Taylor Radish. Where are you? And, like, honestly – we've all been pretty pleased with Corey Perry's play. He's put up some decent numbers, but this one's a bust. Like, you can't have guys like that hurting you. Those are the guys who are supposed to pull you out of this kicking and screaming.
Right.
It can't be those guys that are sinking you. And there's a lot of people saying, like, why did Richardson have the goalies this way? You got back-to-back games. Razek's playing against the more skilled team.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to
If
play
they started
anybody on
Soderblom
consecutive
against
nights.
Buffalo, everybody would be freaking out. Like, why would you start Soderblom? He's not as good. Like,
Right.
they're not going to play back to back the same guy. So I don't know. It's just, I don't know. The answer, the answer is not really in the organization, right? Like it's going to be up to the guys that are here, and that includes Arvid Soderblom, to figure things out, because they're not going to call up Drew Commesso. They should not call up Drew Commesso. They should not. Let him do what he's doing. Let him get the starts in Rockford. Let him get his experience. To call him up now would be a massive mistake.
Soderblom needs to figure it out here. And if he can't, then you have your issue.
Right. And same with a lot of these other guys up and down the lineup. This is your year to figure these things out. This is a year that there were no expectations for any kind of postseason run or being contention for a playoff spot. So this year is going to answer some roster spots going forward. Mm-hmm. If Soderblom can't figure it out at the NHL level, then you're moving on. If Taylor Radish continues, I mean, Radish had a pretty good game. That line was good. Taylor Hall was the best player for the Hawks today.
I agree.
You know, at least offensive-wise. He was everywhere. He was always shooting, which is refreshing. That it's like, hey, guy with puck. Guy shoots puck.
I mean, he's a guy that's trying to just get into a groove of the season.
Yeah.
Not just a game.
And Radish was good on that line, but, I mean, in the end, kind of a non-factor again. So this is the year to find out. If Radish doesn't pick it up and figure out a way and doesn't come close to that 20-goal season, you move on. You know what? It's all these other things. You know, this is what this season was supposed to be about. And yes, you guys are both right. The effort. This is a team. Last year we never complained about effort.
No.
And this year it's
they lost a lot of games.
This year it's like, what's missing? You know, why? Some of these games, like today, you play a full 60 minutes, you win. In Montreal, you play a full 60 minutes, you win. Like, so I'm not, I don't know. People want, call this guy up, call this guy. This is the group.
There's no answer here.
This is the group.
Joey Anderson and Andres Bjork are not going to come and turn this into.
Andres Bjork can't come up because he's on an AHL contract to begin with. But Joey Anderson.
Here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say about a call up. Anderson, Cini, Gust, no disrespect to those guys, but that's not the answer. What I would love to see, and if the effort is similar to what happened tomorrow in tomorrow's game, then I would love to see this happen. I would love to see a guy like Colton Dock brought up and put into the lineup and
shake up.
and be like, hey guys, vets, your spot's not guaranteed.
Right.
If you're not bringing it, you know what? We're gonna call up some young guys and put some pressure on you. I'm not saying bring up Doc because he's ready to play in the NHL, but sometimes you need a message sent to your NHL team that says, hey, Taylor Radish can be taken out of the top 6 and sat if he's not going.
You want to really make a move for tomorrow that sends a message based on how he played today? You bring up Cole Guttman and you play him. And Corey Perry sits out. That's the message-sending move.
Oof. Yeah,
that wakes up people.
Yeah,
but also I don't think you're.
Perry's been overall good though. Like I don't think he's been a problem. No. To me, the guy is Radish. That's the guy who I think like. And look, maybe he's on film. They're happy with what Radish does, but if you're trying to send a message to the vets, I guess what you're saying is sitting Corey Perry lets everybody know no one is safe. But I also think Corey Perry would be like, whoa. I had one bad game here.
Yeah, I think that's that could come off as counterproductive.
Or you just say to him, hey, we're going to sit you. I'm trying to do something here.
I think
Trust me.
I think Perry, if approached, wouldn't be like he would understand. And knowing Corey Perry, no one's harder on him right now from his effort today than he is.
Right.
He may even be like, dude, sit me tomorrow. I deserve it.
Yeah, exactly.
But, you know, I think Guttman's the guy that if you get to the point where you need to call up a forward, he's probably the guy you bring up. You know, he made the team out of camp, had a goal in that Pittsburgh game. He's been good in Rockford. That's the guy. Sure. I mean, you know, Joey Anderson, he's not the same. I know Joey Anderson has great numbers in Rockford, but he has great numbers because it's Rockford. Like
Yeah.
he's a great AHL player.
He's another 4A guy.
He's a great AHL player. He's right up there with like your David Gusts and guys that have had long AHL careers but just never they're just missing that half a step to translate to
something
the NHL.
something that makes them special at the NHL level.
Yeah, there's tons of guys that are like that just have these long AHL careers and then just can't translate it. So this is the group. I mean, the only people who are going to solve the issues they have right now are those 22, 23 guys in the room. That's all that they have to lean on each other. And, Thursday night against Tampa, the bottom six was really good, and the top six was invisible. Today, the top six was pretty good for the most part. They were invisible at times. And then that bottom six, I mean, yeah, Tyler Johnson got that goal, but for the most part, those lines were kind of like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
They were on the ice for that Cole Smith goal. The fourth line was, and they didn't have that same energy that it looked like they had in the Thursday game.
Well, I have an idea what might be different this year from last, but let's take a break first, and we'll get to that on the other side. And what's that?
Are you going to owe us $1?
No, I won't. I'm not going to say the other GM's name or mention number 88. So no,
Okay,
you're not.
there you go.
I will not owe $1.
Sam Lafferty.
But I got lots of dollars to give because I'm saving money by buying my tickets at Game Time. Huh?
Yes.
How about that? You should not have to worry when you're buying tickets to your next big event. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. They got great last-minute deals. If you're patient and you want to play the waiting game, tickets go lower and lower and lower as the event approaches. Jump on that. Take advantage of that offer. And what I really like about Game Time, especially when I'm going to a concert, is I go to Game Time, open up the app, say, I want to see Pearl Jam at the United Center. What do these seats look like? I can see exactly what my view is going to be and say, okay, that's good or that's bad, and make my decision in an educated way. It's a great feature they have. They've also got those zone deals, so you pick a section and you can save up to 18% in those sections. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHGO for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
And speaking of dollars,
Yes.
if there's a place you want to win some dollars, you need to download the CIRCA Sportsbook app, which is now available in the best state in the union. That would be Illinois, my friends. Why do you want to go start using the CIRCA Sportsbook app? Well, because they have tight money line splits. Games will strive to be at a minus 110 split on the CIRCA Sports menu, unlike those other sportsbook, which may use minus 115 or minus 120 splits. What does that mean for you really non-gambling aficionados? That means you're winning less money on your bets at other sportsbook. CIRCA likes to keep a little as money as possible on large market bets like futures, especially compared to those other books. Also, CIRCA will not punish their players because they win too much. Every player has the same limits, unlike other books who like to start to limit players who win too much money. I don't have that problem. We encourage bettors to download and explore all sports betting apps available. Compare the lines from each sports book, and we know you'll end up back at CIRCA. And the thing that puts them over the top, besides with the chance of winning more money than another sports book, it's their customer service. There are actual real people behind the CIRCA Sports brand who resolve issues in a timely fashion, unlike other books who use the dreaded chat bots. Ooh, those are the rebounds in the crease of sports book apps. The chat books just can't have them. All aspects of the app are being run by the same team that runs the main CIRCA Sportsbook at CIRCA Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. So do the right thing. Download the CIRCA Sports Illinois app at circasports.com/Illinois-app. That's circasports.com/Illinois-app to sign up today. Also be on the lookout for CIRCA events like watch parties and tailgates. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER, text GAMB to 833-234, or visit areyoureallywinning.com.
All right, so, we wonder what's different this year from last, and I think there's one thing that's very obvious when watching the Hawks play this year. They're slow as hell, and that is the difference between going into corner and winning a puck and not. So, look, are Sam Lafferty and Colin Blackwell significantly better players than what the Hawks have right now? No, but they had a speed advantage over Corey Perry and Ryan Donato and Nick Foligno. And not to say I don't want those guys here, but you've got guys that can get into a corner and win a battle. Max Domi was, again, one of your leaders in ice time. Fast skater. Athanasiou is not healthy right now.
Yep.
You're lacking a lot of team speed here. And that does make a difference between a rebound is rolled into the corner. Can I get there or not? Nope. The other team has the puck now. That has been visible every time we've watched the Hawks this year. And I think that sometimes the lack of ability to physically get to a puck can be misconstrued as effort. But this team lacks speed. And, yeah, there's some on the horizon, of course, with Moore and Nazar and others. Yeah, but right now, there's not enough speed on this team. To keep up in today's NHL, in today's Western Conference, there's not enough speed on this team. And when Athanasiou gets back and when Blackwell gets healthy, they've got to be in. And those are certainly imperfect players, but they bring something most of this roster lacks. Even when you look at Tyler Johnson, this late into his career, doesn't have the speed he used to have. So who are your fast skaters that are active on the roster right now? Bedard, who is above average speed, but not a blazer by any means.
Reichel can move a bit.
I mean, on the back end.
Yeah.
Korchinski, Phillips can get going with the strides.
Korchinski and Kaiser are good skaters, but they're defensemen.
Right. Yes. Dickinson is a better skater than he gets credit for, but he's
faster
still
than
not,
Nathan McKinnon.
Yes, but he's still not an elite skater.
Yeah, you don't have guys, many of them that are going to win foot races.
And the ones you mentioned aren't the ones going to win. They're not going to win board battles either. More often than not.
Bedard, Athanasiou, Reichel, Kurashev, like if those are your fastest guys, if they're going to loose pucks in the corners, that's not their strong suit. So if you're not going to be fast, if you're not going to have good team speed across the board, then you have to make up for it with either effort and physicality or just be outskilled teams in other categories. And the Blackhawks don't have the roster makeup to do that. You're not going to go out and get anybody to do that because that's not the point of this season. But it's still frustrating that, whether it's injury or roster turnover stuff, as much of the identity of what last year's team had, not all of it has translated. And I think that was one of our, coming into this season, one of our sticking points for this team was like, hey, you saw how they competed and had the effort last season and the roster makeup to, be in a lot of games that they weren't, had no business being in. Now you have a quote unquote more talented roster than last season. All of that translated means they're going to perform better than what we saw last season. And, maybe surprise some people. That hasn't translated. And it's starting to get frustrating because on paper that all should have happened and it hasn't yet. So Athanasiou being healthy and in the lineup will make a difference, but at some point it's the getting to loose pucks, board battles in front of the net. Those come down to will and want to get things done. And I talking with Corey Perry a couple of days ago about when it comes to goal creation and how players can learn to have more of a goal scoring instinct. He said you have to have the will and determination to go to the front of the net because that's where a majority of goals in the NHL are scored. So for some of these young guys, for some of the veterans too, they have to have the will and determination to go into corners, to go in front of the net, to push a guy out from in front of your own net as well, to make something happen. So I don't know. I far be it from me to question the effort and intensity of an NHL player, but at some point it's got to show up consistently.
Got some quotes running in here from these are all from Ben Pope, who's the only Hawks reporter in Nashville today. This is Luke Richardson on Soderblom. We need to give him some goal support. Maybe getting a goal in the first period on one of our chances would have been mentally helpful for our goaltender, but he stayed sharp right to the end. He made a really nice reactional save in the third to give us a chance to try to go for it at the end. He's really mentally tough and strong. Okay, he would know better than us, that's for sure. But his point is right. Play better, but score some effing goals.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, mentally tough and strong. Maybe I'm looking too much into it, but in-game body language, and the 3 goals that he gave up, the first thing Soderblom did was look at the ref.
Yeah.
And I don't think he had a case for much on any of them. So he was slamming his stick. I mean, mentally tough and strong, sure, but this was a game where Soderblom, who is pretty even-keeled and calm most of the time, he was showing a lot of frustration. So I don't know. I don't know if that comes from just his game personally or teammates, their performances. I don't know. If he's really bugged with the ref, I mean, that should be one of your least concerns as a goaltender is what the ref is doing. So I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, the immediately turning to the ref with the palms up on the second and third goal. I mean, I'm not sure what
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what his case is.
Like,
Yeah, I think
it's not the
was that
refs.
the one he tried to cover it and he
Well,
thought he
the
had
first
it?
That was
Didn't-
that
he
was
never
the,
had he
yeah.
never had it under
Right.
his thing. So it's like just because the puck is near you, the play doesn't stop. You got to make sure you have the puck.
And the first
So-
one, he was slamming his stick at the bench because of thinking it might have been goaltender interference or something, and I didn't see anything.
I mean, he's got a better.
Sure,
view
he's
at that
yeah,
than we do,
but I don't
there
know.
was nothing egregious on those plays that should make you be screaming at the refs. But yeah, it would be nice to see Arvid Soderblom play with a lead one of these times. It doesn't
Yeah.
seem to happen.
Or just the
very
team in
often.
general.
Yeah. You know, you almost missed that one. We'll see tomorrow. I mean, Buffalo's coming in. They're missing their big star, Tage Thompson out. Was it a broken wrist? Was that the official diagnosis?
Ooh, was
They
that-
said broken, but he's
was
going
that
to be
it?
out for at least a month.
He blocked a shot in the wrist while on the penalty kill.
Ouch.
That's a tough one to have your best player on a PK and then he gets hurt. But they've lost their last few games. But we said that about Tampa. We said that about Nashville.
Yep.
You've got these teams that are down. They're playing like ass, not Columbus, but just ass. And yet it seems to be of late. What's the remedy for getting out of your funk? A game against
Play
the
the
Blackhawks.
Yep.
So
And look,
I want to see that start that we saw tomorrow night. It's going to be an emotional night. Hockey fights cancer night is always an emotional night. I'm bringing a thing of tissue with me because there's going to be some tear-jerking moments throughout that game. Start like you did, but then carry it out. Don't just do it for 6 minutes and then take the next 14 minutes off and then start the next period off nice and then go, well, we had 5 good shifts in a row. We can phone it in now. Like it's just play a consistent game. If you're not fast enough, fine, that happens. If you don't have the talent gap, fine.
That's part of it, but it's not all of it.
But there are efforts when you see a goalie serving up juicy rebounds all day. Go to the net every play,
Right.
not just once or twice.
That's got to be a directive. That's got to be seen in the first period and a directive of
Awareness.
hey, crash the net.
Well,
Follow
and
your
we know.
shots.
Well, I mean, here's the other thing too: is we know for sure shoot the effing puck has been a directive.
Right.
We've heard that from Luke for weeks, and guys are still not doing it. Right. So the go to the net thing is, you need some marbles to go to the net. You're gonna catch a stick. You're gonna catch an elbow. You're gonna feel some pain to go to the net. It is part of the effing gig. And if you can't do it, there can't be 2 guys on this team willing to go to the net.
You know who goes in the net? Connor Bedard goes in the net.
Yes, he does. Because you know what
Yeah,
might
when he
be
can,
there?
yeah.
A goal.
The puck.
Like
Yeah,
he
right.
goes to the net. He goes to the net all the time. If
Yeah.
he doesn't have the puck, he's going to the net. So if your superstar, generational number 1 overall pick, who's everybody is just raving about his ridiculously good shot that we've seen, if he's willing to say,
Yep.
I'm going to go get my ass kicked by Jeremy Lazone, he's going to cross-check me 45 times, but I'm willing to do that to try and get a rebound, then where the hell is Reese Johnson doing that? Where is Ryan Donato doing that? Where is, all these other guys? Connor Bedard's leading by an example.
If Connor Bedard's going to get greasy, everybody else has to.
Yes.
Bring out the oil.
Grease it up. Get the freaking Crisco out. Let's
Yeah.
get crazy. Get he's leading by and again, those are part of the reasons why everybody's like, hey, it's pretty sure that, it's a guarantee that Connor Bedard is going to be the team captain. And those are the reasons why.
Yeah.
You see him out there. Like, you even see him getting in guys' faces, taking a hit and then turn around and being like, hey, man, like he's standing up for himself as well. He's, he's leading by an example. So take that example. When you see a goalie, if he's giving up rebounds, those first 3 or 4 shots, everybody on the bench needs to be looking and saying, okay, he's a little bouncy tonight. Get to the front of the net. You should be going there anyway. Rebounds or not, they're going to come at some point. You shouldn't have to wait to see the goalie give up 7 in a row before you decide, hey, maybe we should go to the net.
Right,
You should probably just have that in your brain. When the shot is off, go to the net.
Yeah. 2 or 3 times I saw a Hawks player put up a shot and curl off. Like, follow it. It's a simple Pee Wee hockey directive. You shoot the puck at the net and you follow it to the net. And this team is not good enough to, set up the perfect play or, take advantage of one and done opportunities. It has to come in bunches and you have to do it in simplified ways. And I don't know if they just have it in their heads that they can get away with a more finesse and skilled style of play, but this is not the roster to do that. And Luke Richardson is far from the coach to preach that kind of style of hockey. So I don't know. I would love to see the effort tomorrow be way more focused on the North and South, way more focused on, getting pucks on the net and getting 1 and 2 other players there for the rebound chance or for a deflection or something. At the very least, if the goalie makes the save, you can try and hack and slash at it to knock it to the corner and keep possession. Even if it's not a follow-up rebound shot on goal or trying to, bang it in or anything like that, you can get it out to the corner and retrieve the puck, have possession, get it out to your defense, and you sustain possession. We say it over and over and over. There's not a bad play of putting the puck on the net. The very worst thing that could happen if you put the puck on the net is the goalie catches it and they blow a whistle. Offensive zone faceoff.
Beautiful. Yep.
But it's
and
this game
right,
is getting me frustrated.
And you again, like what you're saying is you get a puck on net. There's a rebound. Maybe you don't score. It's kicked to the corner. You get the puck back.
Yeah.
Back to the point. Back and forth. Meanwhile, your opponent is skating, trying to get the puck from you, getting more and more exhausted,
Right.
and the goalie is getting more and more stressed. Like it's a game where most games have 6-7 goals scored total, right? Of the 60 or 70 shots that are taken per game, 6 or 7 go in, and it doesn't. But the way you get them is to build that momentum and to build it by possessing the puck, by wearing out your. That's why the Tampa game looked like it looked. Because for 60 minutes, the Lightning had the puck on a string, and you'd say, wow, the Hawks are down in the third. Why do they only have 2 shots? Because they're freaking gassed.
Yeah.
They've been chasing the puck all night long.
Long shifts, you're constantly chasing it, your legs get tired,
Yeah.
like you're
but
screwed.
But it works in little tiny shifts, too. It doesn't have to be the whole 60. But if you have a 4-minute span where you never give up the puck, that's going to take its toll on the team over the course of a game. It's so simple. This game is not complicated. Watch the way the goals were scored today. You put people in front, you shoot the puck, and they go in.
Make life uncomfortable for the goalie.
Yes, get your ass in his face. You had Corey Perry.
Take away. That's how they scored?
Yes.
Because his ass was literally in his face.
And you had Phillip Kurashev just standing in the crease when Connor Bedard's rebound
you had
just
2
landed
guys there. Foligno was there, too.
That's it. I mean, it's...
Every goal today, except for the first one in the empty netter, was scored by making life difficult for the goalie.
Yes.
Don't let him get comfortable. Don't let him get in a rhythm. Bump him. Give him a little shot every time you can. If you can give him a little whack with your stick as you skate by, do it.
Ace says, give the goalie pink eye. Exactly right.
Happened to me once in high school.
We'll save that story for another day. Steven,
that's
before
for
we
a
take our
late
break, I
postgame
sent you
show.
the heat map from today's game in Slack. If you could
I'll get
get that ready, you'll see
heat
the
map.
difference between the two teams. By the way, we are 14 followers away from 42,000 subscribers on our YouTube page. So we were here on the air when we crossed the 40K threshold.
Yeah, it was
Let's
because of us.
be here when we cross the 42K threshold.
Yes.
Yeah.
Help us get there. We're only 14 subscribers away. Switch those burner accounts. Hit the subscribe button for us. We'd greatly appreciate that.
Old Gustav Forsling.
That's right. Good old number 42.
42. Is it my read?
No, I think it's mine again.
Oh.
Chevy.
It is. It is. I wasn't sure that's where we're going.
We haven't rammed anyone in a while.
No, we haven't.
No.
But it's not about the Rams today. It's about the Chevys. And it's about Black Friday savings time at Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake. Black Friday, not just a day anymore. It's a whole damn month.
It's a whole vibe.
It's a whole thing. It's bigger than Oktoberfest. As one of the top-selling Chevy dealers in the Midwest, you'll always be able to shop one of Chicagoland's largest Chevrolet inventories, and all month long you can save big at Ray Chevy during their Black Friday sales event, where you can choose from over 100 Silverados in stock, the perfect tailgate vehicle, or the perfect way to take an entire team of small hockey players to their next practice. And that's not all. Get 0% financing with $0 down and 0 payments until 2024. Lots of zeros. And I know everybody loves the word free. I know I do. It's like one of my 3 top favorite words behind bacon and more bacon. And that's what you'll get this month at Ray Chevrolet at Fox Lake. A free oil change. And all you need to do is mention CHGO when scheduling your oil change. It's a Black Friday offer you don't want to miss, but you have to schedule it by November 30th, and you just say CHGO, and they're going to put free oil in your car. Who can beat that? Buy with confidence with the Ray Price Promise. It's a guarantee that the price you see online is the price you pay when you go into the dealership. In many cases, other dealers will raise the price on you when you come into a dealership, saying things like, are you a recent college graduate? Are you active in the military? Do you crash the net and try to make life difficult for Kevin Lankinen? And in most cases, the answer will be no. And that's when the other dealers will raise the price on you, saying the price online included limited rebates that you just don't qualify for. Well, that's a bunch of malarkey, and that's not the case at Ray. The price you see online is the price you pay with no add-ons or hidden fees ever. In fact, Ray's going to do everything possible to find additional savings for you, which make the price even lower than what you saw online. So do us a favor, visit Ray Chevrolet in person in Fox Lake, or go to raychevrolet.com to get your Black Friday savings. They've been serving the community since 1963. That's 60 years. Find new roads.
It's a lot of years. It's more years than Goose Island beer has been the official beer of Chicago. That happened in 1988. They've been the official beer of CHGO for much shorter than that, too. That happened, just a couple of years. A couple of months. Anyway, either way, they are the proud beer supporter and sponsor of us here, and they have a tremendous beer roster to choose from year-round, including the Full Pocket Pills, the 312, the golden cans of wheat ale. That is the staple of their beer roster. You have the entire family of Beer Hug IPAs. You have the Green Line. You got the Matilda. Tremendous beers up and down the list. You got their great seasonals as well. Christmas and the holiday season is coming up, so the Christmas IPA going to be hitting the shelves again. And if you want to support your local winter sports teams like the Bulls and the Bears and the Blackhawks, not the Bears at all, Goose Island's got 2 beers for you to enjoy while watching those games. You have the Bull and Goose, the West Side Ale, and you have the Blackhawks Pale Ale, a pale ale. Grab all of these beers and more, brewery exclusives, when you go to the Goose Island Original Brewhouse on Clybourne Avenue in Lincoln Park, or when you go to their tap room on Fulton Street in Westtown. Again, that's the Goose Island Beer Company, Chicago's beer.
Beer. All right, we got some super chats to knock out here. We got one from Mr. Koala, $4.99. Hello, Mr. Koala. Echoes something Jay said a few games ago. Our D is pretty stable.
That's what she said.
Goalies have been what we expected. Forward group needs size. How about Josh Anderson or Lawson Crows? I don't know if
neither
of
of those teams are going to give those guys
available. Exactly. Yeah. But the idea is correct, which is why it's frustrating that the guys that do have size on this team, save for Nick Foligno and most of the time Corey Perry, have not been doing much.
Yeah, I don't foresee the power forward that's making a impactful difference being in Chicago this year or maybe even next. Maybe Colton Dach in a season or two, but not yet.
Cricket says bring Kane back to play on Bedard's wing with many, many cringe faces and chips in her dower. Thank you, Cricket. You know what I know when effort's an issue? The guy I want to bring in to fix that is Patrick Kane and his grand piano that arrives on his back when the puck goes the other way.
When you need more greasy goals and to win board battles, you bring in Kane.
I wonder what Jonathan Taves is up to.
Probably backpacking through
185
Europe.
pounds.
I was not going to make the fat joke, but
that's slimmed down, Jonathan.
Yeah.
That's true. That's
he's
true.
He's probably in great shape.
Well, Brent Seabrook then. And then Brandon says, love the show, guys. Big fan. A lot of us are in denial about another lottery season. Sadly, it's the reality, as Mario pointed out last week. And yeah, like, what?
We have never been in denial of a lottery
Said
season.
it all.
Yeah, well, that's what he's saying. He said you pointed that out last week. And yes, it is a lottery season, but it shouldn't feel like this because it feels like there's being points left on the board.
Yeah.
Right? It feels like there's games that they should be winning or at least more competitive in that they're not.
If they had the exact same record as they do right now, but they had better performances, like if they had lost one of those games against Toronto or Vegas or Tampa, but you substitute that loss with with a win,
like they beat
against Arizona or something, or they win today, I think we would feel a lot more normal about how this season has gone so far because it's kind of the expectation. So I think that's where the frustration is that the games you're supposed to be playing better in, you've been bad.
Yeah.
And the games that you're not supposed to have a chance, some of them you've won.
Yeah, we said it in the pregame show. Hopefully, we've been pointing out that, hey, it's not a Stanley Cup contender these next few games. And hopefully the Blackhawks don't get in the mentality of, well, okay, we're not playing Vegas or Tampa or Toronto or Boston, so we could take our feet off the gas a little bit. We don't have to play as hard, but the reality is you have to play your best game all 82 nights if you want to win the NHL. Because even the worst team in the league, the San Jose Sharks, can beat you and will beat you if you let them.
Right.
You know who is my Stanley Cup favorite right now? The Buffalo Sabres.
Sure. Because they're going to be playing the Blackhawks and probably look like a Stanley Cup champion.
I'm trying to use some reverse psychology here. The Sabres are a juggernaut in the NHL.
You gotta be ready. You gotta strap it in.
You gotta be ready. If you're not ready to go, you're gonna get shit canned.
That's right. Is that? I know you're doing a lot of stuff right now, Steven. The heat map. Is that good to go? So look at this closely. This is courtesy of Natural Stat Trick. This is at all strength. So if you've never been to Natural Stat Trick before, you can see at the top there's all those tabs, and you can sort through the variety of heat maps. So I clicked all. So this is the entire game. And while you see a hot zone for the Hawks and a hot zone for Nashville, Nashville's is a hurricane. The Hawks is a slight rainstorm. Like, you can see all the heat from where the Nashville's generating chances is in or around the net between the dots in front of the goalie. The Hawks have a big blue spot in front of the net, which is going to happen every game for every team in the league. Then there's a big dark spot right behind the right face-off circle, and that's about it. Too much perimeter.
Yeah.
Too much coming from the perimeters. Look, it's like a U, or a C in front of the Nashville net.
Yeah, I mean, it's good that there is a higher concentration in front of the net, but you compare it to the concentration of net goals for the net front goals and opportunities for Nashville. It's staggering. And Steven, if you could throw that back up real quick, you see on the graph there the little letter G's. Look at where Nashville's are. Slot, net front. Yep. And I know they had an empty netter. That one, that's whatever. But the three goals before the empty netter, they're all between the face-off circles, and they're right in front of the net. Yep. And that's where you got to go. That's where you got to go to try and score. And when you're in those spots, You know, if you're not trying to dig out a rebound or deflect a puck, if you have an opportunity between the dots with the puck on your stick, this team needs to have the mentality of whoever it is, like 90% of this roster, just fire it on net. You don't need to make it pretty. You don't need to do a backhanded no-look dump pass that may or may not be to anybody in particular. Like, just if you have the puck in that spot right in front of the net, right down the middle, shoot it. Just shoot it. See what happens.
It's amazing when a team starts to struggle to score goals consistently that they get more fancy.
Yeah.
They try for the perfect play. It's not
Simplify.
the Blackhawks are not the only team guilty of this. You see this across the league where it's like it should be the exact opposite. If you're struggling, simplify it. Get puck, shoot puck.
That's it.
Get puck, shoot puck again and again and again and again. Because the more you do that, the more chances you have of scoring a goal. But instead, it's drop pass here, cross ice pass here. You know,
backhand sauce it 50 feet away from you.
Oh, that reminds me. Did we make fun of that guy for trying to go behind his legs? What a butt whack. I forgot all about that play. Who was that?
Yeah.
That was
Parsonen.
Leslie
Parsonen.
Leslie Parsnips or whatever his name was. What a joke.
What are you doing, dude?
Tries to go between his legs on
funny.
Arvid effing Soderblom with no one around him. Like, I wouldn't have not have put him on the ice the rest of the game.
I thought Barry Trotz was going to levitate down from the booth and give him a rock bottom right there. Like, son, what are you doing?
Man.
Who do you think you
That was
are?
the stupidest play I've ever seen. I've watched a lot of hockey in my life. It was so ridiculous. Like, who do you think you are?
Thank you for reminding us.
There's
about
only
that.
one player on both rosters that I would not be mad at for trying that, and that's Connor Bedard.
And if
he
tried it
wouldn't do it.
in that situation, no.
No, he would have flipped. He would have embarrassed the goal. Like, I want to go between my legs, the full Arvid Soderblom. Give me a, like, you clown.
Just shoot it. You'll
an
probably
ass.
save him.
What an
You'll
asshole.
probably trick him. Oh my god, that was so funny. Yeah,
That
I
was
just
good.
like
No, that was
you
good.
could sense like somewhere like John Tortorella just had a stroke and he doesn't know why. Like that was amazing. Like of all the he had 3 Hawks around him. He was maybe 2 feet from the net. Dude, try it another time. Save it for warm up. Save it for the shootout. But that was comical. Oh my god, that was so funny.
Yes, I wanted to end on a high note. We've been a little crotchety here so far. So I was like, oh wait a minute, let's laugh at that one guy.
Yeah. We need to get to all of our segments. I
That's
think.
right. Yeah,
We do. We
got
also have
segments.
Luke right. How long is Luke? Maybe we skip.
I mean,
I'll tell you in just a second.
we read his one quote. Like,
well,
it's
see,
just him and Ben.
Ben doesn't tweet out the quotes. He says
3 minutes and
stories.
40 seconds.
Do you want to listen to Luke?
Let's do our
Sure.
segments and then see where we are.
All right. Well, let's do Connor's Corner first. Anything?
You just want the happy music.
Yeah.
I just don't want to put the damn helmet on for a while.
That's fair.
Tough shit to stop fucking winning.
Sounds like a you problem.
I'm not going to the net or anything. I'm really not trying. All right, Connor Bedard ended this game with 1 assist. He was credited with 1 shot on goal, 3 shot attempts total, but felt like he did more than that. He was much more effective than that leads on. 21-18 of ice time. But, man, that assist on the Kurashev goal, go back and watch that shift. Seth Jones made a great cross-ice pass to Bedard, but Seth Jones made 2 or 3 other great passes in that sequence to keep that play in the zone. But Bedard with an absolute rocket, and then there he is, Phillip Kurashev on the doorstep where goals happen. So that is Connor's Corner. All right, how about we do the 4-star of the game? Do we have a winner? Have we declared a winner?
Yeah, we actually have a runaway here.
Uh-oh.
It's Phillip
Phillip
Kurashev.
Kurashev.
Scoring goals get you the honors.
And we talked
Goals
about
are
this
good.
pregame, and I wrote about it for the Hawks Hits that we'll publish after the game today. The last piece to Phillip Kurashev production is here.
Yeah.
He's been really good. He's putting up points. He is putting up points in every game. It helps to play with Connor Bedard, that's for sure. But he's getting an opportunity, and he is not letting it go. And the fact that Taylor Hall returned to play on the second line today tells you all you need to know about how Phillip Kurashev is playing.
Yeah.
So he's the 4-star of the game. All right, fine.
Hang on.
Yeah.
I'm going to have it, and I swear to God, something's going to happen to me health-wise from where
I wonder who won.
Then
I won because I picked Connor Bedard.
start picking worse players.
How sad, though, is it that I win Who's Your Hawk because a guy had an assist in one shot?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's better
Yeah,
than
well,
having
at
to go to the
least you had a point.
tiebreaker.
Yeah, well, we've had at least 2 or 3 games already where no one's at a point.
Yeah.
And we had to just make up some BS rules as we went along.
No, they're official rules.
All right.
Thanks for the close-up cam, too.
Every
Sure
time.
it is.
When he kicked my dog while you're at it.
Yeah.
All right. Do I have to wear this while Luke talks?
Yes.
I think that's the rule.
Fine.
Sure.
Here's Luke Richardson post-game, courtesy of your Chicago Blackhawks.
Well, it's just another frustrating, you're in the game at the end and we push hard to kind of climb back in. I thought we had a really good start again. I don't think they got their first chance to the 13-minute mark. And then, unfortunately we had one kind of a miscue on a face-off one in the D zone. It was in our net. And then a power play goal where, consecutive penalty kills put stress on us. So it takes your best players out of the ice time and puts your penalty killers into some fatigue. So we missed it clear, and then they got another chance and went in. So, climbing behind from a team that works really extremely hard like these guys do, it's difficult. So we did it twice from 2 goals down. But I like our push, but we got to make sure that we somehow find a way to get up on teams when we have good starts like that.
I asked you about the shots this morning, and it was pretty even in that regard. Was that encouraging to see?
Yeah, no, I liked it. We had definitely at times we had a better shot mentality. I'd still like to push for more. There's a couple chances where, and the ice isn't great here at the end of periods, and you can't look for a better play. I think if you see something, your first instinct's usually right. So we just got to keep building on that. I thought it was a good step in the right direction, but we got to make sure we're hungry for more even.
That 2-on-1 with Radish and Hall, I guess, maybe an example of where shooting first.
I think so, and the defense made a nice play, did a nice slide at the end, and it, Taylor was waiting for him maybe to open up and come at him standing up, and that would probably open a lane up. But I think, we had a quick shot by Dickinson on a similar play, and, the back checker just lifted Perry's stick. So we missed on a couple chances like that. I think we need to continue to do more of that.
It seems like, Nashville got 2 goals of rebounds, and there were a couple of rebounds maybe to be had that you weren't able to stick on. Is that something you'll talk about?
You know what? These guys battle hard, and I think not just in front of the net, but I think along the walls and in the corners. We said that's what this team is. They're heavy on the forecheck and in the O zone, so we got to make sure that our battle compete level it's got to keep rising. I think they won a few more than us tonight, so we got to make sure that we're better in that department.
Did you think about challenging for going through?
Yeah, but I think they would have blown it or said that they intended to blow it if they thought it was totally covered. I think his stick was under the glove when the glove went down, so they're probably not going to turn that over. So I don't think at this point, to put ourselves in another penalty kill situation for 3 in a row would have been a good opportunity for us.
Arvid seemed a little frustrated by that, but overall it doesn't seem like any, even though it has so many losses this year and it's been tough with that, not getting a lot of support, doesn't seem to really affect his confidence or psyche.
Yeah, at times, whether it's times during the game or time at the end of the game, we need to give him some goal support, and maybe getting a goal in the first period on one of our chances would have been mentally helpful for a goaltender. But you know what, he stayed sharp right to the end. He made a really nice reactional save in the third to give us a chance to try and go for it at the end. So he's really mentally tough and he's strong, and we just got to try and find him and get that second win for him this year.
What do you think of Hall tonight?
No, I think he was good. I think, he's strong on the puck, and, he's just going to get better. That's his first game back in, and we've seen that as he continues to get stronger every game he plays, coming back from missing a bit of time. So I think we're going to, hopefully, back-to-back games are a good thing. He gets a little bit of a taste tonight, and he has even a stronger game tomorrow, as we all do.
Luke Richardson saying the right things. And I think maybe it was Alan Kay mentioned it earlier in the chat about Soderblom. He's going to protect his players in the media. He has,
of course.
He's not going to say, this guy sucked and he sucked and they were terrible and we played like ass and we had no effort. It's just not his style. It's not the way he's going to coach. It's not the way you get through to today's players. And we say today's players, even the Folignos and the Perrys, that generation of guys, they're kind of the first part of those players that didn't really respond to that kind of stuff anymore. That's totally a thing of the past. So I like what he had to say. He's honest without being, fired up for the sake of being fired up. I'm sure behind closed doors, he is much more stern, much more harsh. And look, I hope that over time these guys get this message because, while, like we said, we expected this team to be one of the worst teams in the league this year, and they're going to be. You don't want them to be one of the worst teams in the way they're doing it, where they're just getting outworked. That's frustrating. And you could tell it's frustrating him as a dude who very rarely got outworked during his NHL career.
Right.
Yep. He played 1,400 games in the league, not because he was the most talented player, because he was going to beat your ass to that puck every time, no matter what it
or
took.
beat your ass.
Whichever happened first.
All right, got a couple super chats to get to, but first we want to tell you about our friends at FOCO. You want to look sexy at the Hawks games. I see Cricket says she thinks Luke is handsome. Cricket, you come to a Hawks game, you want to look nice in case Luke spots you. Get fitted out at FOCO. Hoodies, shoes, signs, bobbleheads, toques, everything you need to look fine at a hockey game.
Are we turning it into a Bruins podcast?
No. We got enough of those. It is hockey, and especially not today. It is hockey and football season. Get your sweatshirts, your slippers, your pajama pants, everything you need to stay nice and cozy on your couch or at the United Center for a game. And if you want to deck out your man cave or your she shed, check out Foco.com too for their awesome bobbleheads and all the sort of signs and all the cool decor they've got there, including that very awesome Connor Bedard, Stan Mikita split bobblehead, limited edition. So jump in and grab that at Foco. Go to Foco.com, click the link in our description below, and for all non-presale items, use the promo code CHGO for 10% off.
And if you want to look even better when around town here in Chicago at sporting events and anywhere else, you want to get yourself decked out top to bottom in CHGO gear. And you're going to be able to do that with our Black Friday sale running from Black Friday to Cyber Monday, up to 90% off of select styles. If you spend $75, you are going to get yourself a $15 gift card on top of that. Go to chgolocker.com to check out all of our merch. Shirts, like I said, can get up to 90% off. Team gear is at least 20% off. CHGO branded gear is 33% off. Hats and hoodies, $10 off. A ton of great gear. The hats look great. I got the golf hat in the mail today while I was here at the office. Greg's got the trucker hat, the CHGO trucker hat.
I have the Victory Hemlet.
It's well, that one is one of a kind. So you're not going to be able to find that online, but you could make your own. If you see all the stickers and the design and everything, you can get some of those stickers. Some of them come from our fabulous sticker collection here at CHGO, and you become a diehard, you're going to get some of those stickers. You can go to allchgo.com for more information on becoming a diehard and saving 20% on merch and events and getting access to diehard-only content and being one of the cool kids of the CHGO sports community. So, yeah, do all that stuff. Be the MVP of your holiday season.
And we're not supposed to say this, so don't say anything. But if
This
you're
doesn't
a
leave the
diehard,
room.
it stacks on your sale.
Yeah.
Just saying. So if you're waiting to become a diehard, Black Friday,
just
you
between
stack things,
us
it's a lot
and
of
you.
savings.
Yes.
Don't tell anyone we said that.
Yes.
How are we doing on our subscribers? Do we hit our mark, Steven?
We have not. We're 12 away.
Boo.
No.
Yeah, we got to pick it up, guys.
We didn't.
We got too
We
many
didn't
of our
really
regulars.
beg and plead hard enough on
Our
that
listeners are not crashing the net or playing hard today. I gotta say, subscribe to our YouTube channel. All right, before we go, super chat from Windy City Hockey says, "Sign Kessel now," though he doesn't help
Yes.
the speed.
Yes.
That's true.
He makes a slow team even slower. But screw it. Do it anyway.
And Dave PDI or Dave PD says, "Tomorrow is my birthday," and I said, "Screw it," and bought a Bedard shirt.
Great.
Good on
Boy.
you. Enjoy.
Which
Happy
Bedard
birthday.
shirt? From us or just in general?
We don't have Bedard shirts. We have Center
We have-
98.
That's
have
true.
number 98
We have 98C and Future of the League shirts, which are available at chgolocker.com and are part of the Black Friday sale.
They're
So-
inspired by.
They're
Just a random number generator. Spit that out.
Exactly. They have one of those. DNVR has one of those for a guy who wears number 29. And PHNX has one for a guy that wears 92. They're cool looking.
Never heard of them.
Who's that?
The best prospect in the world,
Oh,
Logan Cooley.
Sure.
Can't say that.
I put a period. It's a different thought.
PHLY has them too.
Yes.
For
16.
For someone who doesn't
Oh,
currently
Bobby
play.
Clark.
Somebody who hasn't played in 40 years.
That's awesome.
Not a good. I mean, at least you could have done 88.
Yeah, that'd be cool. All right, we're going to
Only
wrap
Patrick
up.
Kane
Thanks for
played
being
for
with
the
us. We're
Flyers.
back tomorrow.
In 2
No
weeks.
pregame, as it is a home game. We'll talk to you after Hawks and Sabres, hopefully with a happier and more fun postgame show. But we appreciate you being here.
We'll be back
Tell
here
a
in
friend. Get
24
us over
hours.
that 42,000 mark by the end of the night. We'd appreciate that. We'll talk to you later on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.